savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
That wasn't just a meltdown, it was a manifesto. Years later in court, that same energy exploded when Diddy charged at a witness so violently that security had to restrain him. But this rage didn't just appear in that courtroom, it had been boiling for years. Even after his arrest, there were secret prison calls, hush money deals run through his own mother, and then came Cassie's testimony. What she revealed took this case from dark to unthinkable. Let's start with something truly shocking.
That they've met since 2018 when she attended the funeral for Kim Porter, which is the mother of Sean Combs' 3 children. When she walked in there, Rachel, she had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact with the defendant, with Sean Combs.
According to court documents, Diddy has been allegedly contacting witnesses from prison. The prosecutors described his efforts as relentless attempts to corruptly influence witness testimony. How was he doing this? He was using other inmates' phone accounts to make calls, creating an underground network just to reach potential witnesses. But it gets worse. He wasn't just reaching out himself, he was instructing family members to contact witnesses. His mother, Janice Combs, was named in a lawsuit for allegedly pressuring an accuser to accept hush money. Imagine having your mother participate in silencing people allegedly hurt by you. That's not motherly love, that's enabling abuse. Diddy even allegedly orchestrated social media posts, drafting an Instagram statement with a witness via text and calls from prison to counter allegations by Don Richard. Prosecutors alleged he paid this witness
know that she's an ex-girlfriend. Right. And there was a whole exchange about her in court this week where they said, we're having trouble getting her to come in, that she has some conflict, she's got things going on in her personal life. And it was described by the government as almost like she wants to be here, but we're not sure we're going to be able to get her here. We're talking to her lawyer.
After they posted the statement, one of the most talked about theories involves Jonathan Audi. In 2018, Audi was arrested for shooting at Trump's Doral, Miami resort. During interrogation, he made explosive claims. He said he was a slave for both Diddy and Cassie. He alleged that Diddy would instruct him during encounters with Cassie and claimed he signed a $5 million NDA with Diddy in 2014.
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs and I really did love him. And what I thought was also interesting is she said that after that first freak-off, she said she felt dirty. She didn't want to do it. And when she brought up the idea of having a conversation about the freak-offs in an email, which the jurors saw, she said she backpedaled in the email because Combs responded by saying, I know, you don't want to do it. And she said, oh no, well, it's not that. But that was the beginning. That was in 2010, where she brings up in an email that she wanted to have a conversation about this. And in her words, she didn't want to do it, but she felt like she had to do it.
Initially dismissed as delusions, Cassie's testimony has now been interpreted as confirming Audi's involvement in sexual encounters with Diddy. As one ex-user posted, with Cassie Ventura's testimony in the Diddy trials, it looks like another conspiracy theory is true. An alleged third victim has been uncooperative with prosecutors. Described as Victim 3 in the indictment, she's an ex-girlfriend of Diddy's.
Yet, she's definitely laying out someone who was young, who was influenced by wanting to have this record career. She signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment, led by Sean Combs, and basically describes being enamored by Sean Combs, loving him, not knowing about certain things, and him sort of telling her, teaching her about that.
Prosecutors have been struggling to get her to testify. Why would someone be reluctant to testify against an alleged abuser? Fear of retaliation, concern for personal safety, worry about public scrutiny, or maybe she's been contacted by Diddy or someone in his circle. Without Victim 3, their case could be weakened, which might explain why prosecutors are desperate to get her on the stand. On the first day of trial, Diddy was spotted reading from a Bible at the defense table. It feels convenient, like when your teacher catches you passing notes and suddenly you're the most attentive student. Social media users were quick to call this out as a transparent strategy to appear sympathetic to the jury. The security officer who responded to Cassie's call for help testified that Diddy had a devilish stare on his face when he came out of the elevator. According to the officer, Diddy allegedly offered him money to keep quiet about what happened. The officer didn't take the money, but the mere offer speaks volumes about how Diddy handles situations where he might be exposed. Diddy's defense team tried to discredit this testimony by pointing out inconsistencies in the security officer's incident report. But here's the thing, even if the officer didn't include every detail, the video speaks for itself. We've all seen the footage of Diddy assaulting Cassie, and no amount of legal maneuvering can erase that evidence. Cassie Ventura, pregnant and about to have a baby in June, has been through absolute hell. According to her testimony, when she took the stand on May 13th, it was the first time she'd seen Diddy since 2018. She walked in with her head held high, wearing a brown dress, visibly pregnant, and did not make eye contact with Diddy. The most damning evidence is that horrific video showing Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in a hotel hallway in 2016. This isn't just a little argument. This is a man dragging a woman, throwing things at her, stomping on her. According to Cassie's testimony, Diddy controlled everything from what she wore to who she talked to, even the color of her nails. He wanted white or French tip nails on her at all times. The most disturbing part? The freak-offs. These were situations where Cassie was allegedly forced to engage in intimate activities with other people while Diddy watched. Cassie testified these events could last up to 4 days, and the aftermath was so severe she needed IV fluids afterward. Cassie also testified that she suffered frequent health issues as a result. UTIs so severe antibiotics sometimes stopped working, oral sores, and stomach problems from drugs and physical exertion. When asked if she ever enjoyed these situations, Cassie broke down crying and said she only did because it meant she got to spend one-on-one time with Diddy. That's what psychological abuse looks like, when someone breaks you down so completely that you associate abuse with love. Cassie was only 22 years old when this started. A baby. Meanwhile, Diddy was a grown man, a powerful music mogul with all the connections in the industry. She was young, trying to build her career, and had signed a 10-album deal with Diddy's Bad Boy Entertainment. He held her entire future in his hands, and he knew it. Jurors were shown photos of injuries Cassie sustained, knots on her forehead, busted lips, black eyes, and bruises. This wasn't just a one-time thing. This was a pattern of abuse spanning years. Diddy is really trying to rebrand himself for this trial, looking nothing like the flashy, blinged-out mogul we're used to seeing. Instead, he's showing up with gray hair, glasses, and wearing sweaters, trying to look as non-threatening as possible. Diddy's legal team is arguing that all encounters were consensual, trying to paint the picture that Cassie and Diddy had a mutually agreed-upon lifestyle with no coercion. They're even claiming the infamous 2016 video has been doctored. But they're in a tough spot. How do you aggressively cross-examine a pregnant woman without coming across as a complete villain? This trial isn't just about Diddy and Cassie. It's about power dynamics in the music industry as a whole. It's about how celebrities use their influence to silence victims, creating a web of protection that makes it nearly impossible for the truth to come out. If these allegations are proven true, it could send shockwaves through the entire industry, potentially leading to more victims coming forward with their own stories of abuse. Cassie's husband has been by her side throughout the trial, sitting just a few rows behind her in the courtroom. A powerful contrast to the man who allegedly abused her for years. It's a reminder that there is life after abuse, that victims can heal, find love again, and rebuild what was broken. As one commentator pointed out, there's nothing they can do or say that is going to minimize what people saw in that video. If you've seen that video, you're not going to forget it. It's like trying to convince people water isn't wet. You can argue all you want, but the evidence is right there, undeniable and unmistakable.